If you're making 75K, congratulations, you've already started to build a serious income. The last thing I want is for you to be stuck there forever. After 20 years of working with a lot of people at 75K and beyond, I'm gonna tell you exactly where they get stuck and how you can break out of that to build real wealth. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the difference between retiring with $500,000 or millions. Let's dive in, starting with the 75K trap. $75,000 a year seems like enough to begin, to pay your bills, to save a little bit, and to start building some real wealth. But it can also feel like a trap. Many people at this income level finish the year with not much to show for it. You look at your account in December and you wonder, where did it all go? You're stuck, but it is bigger than your spending. You were following the wrong plan. At 75K, your take-home income is roughly $5,000 a month. Without structure, that $5,000 is simply gonna come and it's gonna get spent. It's gonna flow like water right through your financial system and not leave much behind. But if you have the right structure, you're gonna know exactly where every dollar is going and where it is supposed to go. The framework I use is called the conscious spending plan. It divides your take-home pay into 4 buckets. And once you set it up, your money will actually automatically build wealth without you having to manually do it. Let's go over them. Category 1, fixed costs, 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. These are bills that you pay to keep your life running. Once they're automated, you never have to think about them again. Investments, you contribute at least 10% of your take-home pay here. This is what will build real wealth even at 75K, and I bet you are not currently doing this. Savings goals, 5 to 10% of take-home pay. With your savings in place, surprise expenses can stop being emergencies. I also bet you are not doing this. And finally, guilt-free spending, 20 to 35% of take-home pay, because once everything else is handled, you can spend your remaining money guilt-free. Think of your checking account like an email inbox. Everything lands there first, and then it flows automatically where it needs to go. Your 401k is already funded. Automatic transfers handle your Roth IRA where you're investing, your savings, your bills on a schedule that you don't have to touch. And everything left after that is yours guilt-free. You get ahead, you're stopping worrying about money because every dollar has a job. Once you have that structure in place, there is a specific number I want you to keep in mind that impacts everything else in your plan. And if you're over that number, no amount of optimizing will make a difference. To learn more, you need to move past over optimization. If you've ever caught yourself wondering whether you need to skip your morning coffee or feeling guilty, ooh, I'm so bad. Why did I do that? I need to be better. You might be stuck focusing on $3 questions instead of $30,000 questions. At 75K, the path to wealth is not cutting back on paper towels, although if you want to, God bless. Because after all of that discipline and guilt, how much did you actually save? $12 a month? Did you even invest that $12? Of course not. You are suffering, but not for a purpose. Instead of optimizing every little expense, I want you to focus on a few big decisions, the kind that you only need to make 2 or 3 times in your life. Get those right, because if you get just one of them right, it can be worth over $500,000 over the next 30 years. But get it wrong, like so many people do, and that same money just disappears without you even noticing it. Big win number 1, your housing. A small tweak to your housing payment could buy you 100 coffees a month. Your goal is for your total housing cost to be no more than 28% of your gross income. That includes everything: your rent, mortgage, utilities, taxes, repair for the sprinklers out in front. Now, if you're making $75,000, your ceiling is $1,750 a month for housing. If you are over that number, we have an issue that we want to focus on. Now, I want to acknowledge this. Who the hell only pays $1,750 a month for their housing? That is really hard. It's almost impossible right now to pay less than that for your housing. This is why I'm such a fierce advocate for building more housing, because nobody can afford their housing. It's historically expensive. But here's what I want you to take away from this. You probably had never even heard of this number 28%. Never. So you had no idea if you were spending too much, too little. It just felt bad. I am now giving you a number that you can look at and be like, oh, I'm way over 28%. I'm at 34 or 47%. Now I understand why I feel so stressed out about money. Do you see that you were probably focusing on feeling guilty about coffee, but it's really your housing costs that are keeping you trapped? So let's say that you pay above that line, that 28% line. Let's say that you pay above it by just $500 a month. So it's $2,250 a month instead of $1,750. Over the course of your life, you would lose almost $600,000 in future wealth from that one decision, because you could have taken that money, invested it, gotten 7% real returns over the long term, and that $500 a month would have turned into life-changing wealth, all from one decision. Now, if you cannot find housing that is that cheap, okay, housing is really difficult right now, but at least you know the benchmark. Big win number 2, high interest debt. If you're carrying a credit card balance right now, you are likely paying around 27% interest. That means for every $1,000 you owe, you're paying $270 a year just to keep the balance before you've paid off a single dollar of what you actually bought. That balance costs you more than any investment. Pay it off aggressively. Every dollar freed from high interest debt is a dollar that you can invest, save, and grow your wealth. Big win number 3, spending on what you love. I find that too many people focus on deprivation, and they try to cut across the board, and they try to do it based on feelings instead of actual looking at what they value. Oh, I need to cut 5% off cable, 5% off Amazon, 5% off this. No, you don't. You need to focus on spending on the 1, maybe 2 things you love, and everything else cut ruthlessly. Now, maybe that's travel. Maybe it's incredible meals with the people you love. Maybe it's the best coffee equipment you can buy. I want you to spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut mercilessly on the things you don't. You fix these 3 areas and you will free up hundreds of dollars, maybe even more per month, for something I want to show you next. A mechanism that at $75K can turn less than $20 a day into $1.3 million or more. Before we get to the next move, I want to give you a bonus big win: protecting your family. If something unexpected happened to you tomorrow, would your partner or your kids be okay? If you want to make sure that they are taken care of financially, even if you aren't here tomorrow, you need to make sure you are set up with term life insurance. Today's sponsor, Fabric by Gerber Life, can make that easy for you right now. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance that you can get done today, made for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. And the best part is Fabric has flexible, high-quality policies that fit your family, like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it may not offer enough protection for your family, and it can disappear the moment you leave your job. Fabric follows you wherever you go. There's no risk. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. So if you've got kids, especially if you are young and healthy, locking in low rates now is one of the smartest moves you can make for your future. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/Ramit Sethi. Meetfabric.com/Ramit Sethi. Now let's move on to the next move you should make at the $75,000 level. Start investing in the simplest way possible. At $75K, you might be making one of these 2 mistakes. You might be putting off investing because you tell yourself you're going to start later, you need to make more money, or you need to have enough to get started. Or you might be investing by jumping in on random stock picks. If you're a young man watching this, you're probably a gambling addict. Staying on either one of these paths is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Do you know why so many people find this phrase I just said confusing? Ramit, what are you talking about, hundreds of thousands of dollars over my lifetime? I have $300 in my checking account. If you think that way, you will always have $300 in your checking account. Wealthy people are not just looking at how much is in their checking account today. They are thinking about the ramifications of their decisions today and how they compound over 20 or 30 years. You're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be 1 year older, 2 years older, 10 years older. You might as well have $50,000 in your savings account. That's what I'm trying to show you in this video. So listen up. The best investors I've met over 20 years barely watch the stock market. They do not pick individual stocks. They set up a simple automated system and they get on with their life. It's boring, and that's how it's supposed to be. Look at the math. You invest $500 a month, roughly $16 a day, and in a low-cost index fund starting at age 25, you will retire with over $1 million. Now, if you're about to write a comment on my page that says, hey, who wants to be some geriatric loser who only has $1 million at age 75? Okay, then make more. Increase your income. Put $1,000 a month, put $5,000 a month, put $10,000 a month into your investments. But do not sit here and say, hey, Ramit, that sucks to only have $1 million at age 70. What's your alternative? To sit around and complain or pick random coin investments? No, we've got to execute a plan because one way or another, you are going to be older. I want you to have a lot of money and I want you to spend some of that money today enjoying your life. You're already putting investments aside, at least 10% of your take home pay. That's automatic. Now it's time to put that 10% to work. I suggest you contribute enough to your 401k to get the full employer match because that's free money. If you don't have a 401k match, you might consider a Roth IRA instead. That money grows tax-free for decades, takes about an afternoon to set up. Automate your contributions. Set up the automatic transfers so that the money moves before you even see it because your future is funded every single month without you having to lift a finger. And the most important part here, this is really important and counterintuitive, make sure that you're actually buying investments. Remember that if you just move money into a 401k or a Roth IRA, it's just sitting there in cash. You need to actually instruct the account to buy investments. Now, I personally recommend using low-cost diversified funds that automatically adjust based on your age. They're called target date funds, but it's up to you. You pick one based on the year you plan to retire, you invest in it, and that is it. Anyone can do it. But if you don't, the money just sits there losing value every single year, and you lose decades of growth and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then you end up being radicalized online and complaining about taxes. Not my cup of tea, my friends. So far, we've covered setting up your system and getting your money moving. But what comes next is crucial because that is the gap between $500,000 and millions of dollars. And I would rather you have millions. What we're going to cover in the rest of this video can eat your returns from the outside in. So keep watching if you don't want to erase everything you've done so far. But real quick, if you want more practical advice like this, hit subscribe. I put out new videos every week to help you earn more, save more, and live your rich life. All right, the next move, do not unknowingly pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees. At some point as your portfolio grows, you might consider hiring a financial advisor. And they will meet you with an offer that basically says, let me manage your money for you. I'll be your money guy for just 1% of your assets per year. Oh, that sounds fine. 1%, go ahead. Until you run the math. On a $50,000 portfolio, that 1% is $500 in fees. That doesn't sound like a lot, but as your portfolio grows, your fees will grow as well, more than you even realize. Over 35 years, even if you never add another dollar to that original $50,000, that 1% advisor fee costs you about $150,000 compared to a low-cost index fund. Are you listening? This is how wealthy people think. They are not just thinking about what's in their checking account. They are looking down the road and saying, oh, $150,000 in fees. How about I don't pay that and I instead invest that money and I maybe take a little piece of it and enjoy that money and I can live my rich life today and a richer life tomorrow. This is one of the ways the financial industry profits from your confusion. These terms and these accounts, it's all so complicated. And so what ends up happening is that a lot of people feel under-equipped, so they go and pay someone to handle it. I have no problem paying people for value, but in what other industry would you pay a percentage of your assets? Do I pay my personal trainer 1% of my portfolio? No, that's absurd. I pay an hourly fee and I'm happy to do it. This is how I want you to think about your money. Set it, forget it, let your returns grow over time. You don't need to be checking your account every month. It works. That is why we use low-cost index funds and we automate them. And if we do need help, we can hire an advisor, but we pay an hourly fee or a flat fee. But there is one mistake that can erase everything we have just talked about, and it actually has nothing to do with investing. Before we go there, I want to share what I've noticed after over 20 years working with people at this income level. Too many of us watch a video like this and then we stay stuck. Our housing costs stay the same. Our credit card balance goes a little bit down, but then it goes right back up. We don't open up a Roth IRA. That is because there is a difference between watching a video and actually applying it to your life. Which do you want after this video? Are you about to close this video and be like, oh, I really should do that, and then not do any of it? That is exactly why I created my money coaching program. In 48 hours, I will walk you through setting up your entire financial system, your conscious spending plan so you know your 4 key numbers, your investment accounts, your automated transfers, all of it built specifically for your numbers and your life. Can you imagine 2 days from now, all of this is done? You'll get live calls with me to answer your specific questions, step-by-step playbooks for investing and paying off debt, and a community that has been through what you are going through right now. Because the difference between $500,000 at retirement and $2 million is not luck. It is setting up the system and executing it. So if you are ready to stop watching YouTube videos and start actually applying and building your system. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link below. Join us in Money Coaching today so you can make these massive changes within 48 hours. All right, next up, avoid a raise reset. At some point, you're going to make more money. And if you are not careful, you will end up simply spending every last dime that you are now making. This happens a lot when people get a new raise or a new job. Your income goes up, but within a few months, the money is just funding a more expensive life. And stuff you don't even really notice, stuff you don't even care about. You make a little bit more money, you start eating out more, you look at the end of the year, you go, where'd my money go? Freaking PF Chang's? Is that my rich life? Now, you have probably heard the term lifestyle creep, and it describes how life expenses naturally increase after a raise. And you know what people usually tell you to do? Don't spend any more, avoid lifestyle creep, just put all the money in savings. I don't agree. When you make more money, you should spend more, but you should also save more and invest more. It is not realistic for me to sit here and tell you, oh, you should live like a pauper even though you've doubled your income. That's stupid. I make more, I spend more, and I love it. But my savings and my investments go up as well. This is how I want you to think. If you want to become wealthy, don't think only about restriction. Think about a rich life. And in a rich life, you are the kind of person who invests more. You are the kind of person who saves more. And yes, you are the kind of person who maybe eats out or takes a vacation a little bit more. So every raise can increase your wealth and your spending as long as you do it consciously. If it's unconscious, you're just going to end up eating out and buying a bunch of BS. So here's what you do instead. Stop investing a flat dollar amount. That's not the way we do it. We start by thinking about investing a percentage of our take-home pay. That way, if you invest 10% and you get a raise, 10% of a bigger number is more. And to build wealth even faster, every December, I want you to set up a calendar reminder. Bump your investment contribution rate up by 1%, whether you get a raise or not. So right now, if you're investing 4%, let's be honest, a lot of you are investing less than 1%. What the is wrong with you? That's why you're watching this video. Set it up December 15th. Put the link to your Vanguard account or your Fidelity account. I want no excuses. And you say, currently I'm investing 1% of take home pay. I'm going to increase that to 2%. Next year to 3%. Keep going. That is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Look at the math. Here's two people, both make $80K a year. Person A invests a flat 5% every year for 35 years. They end up with about $550,000. That's pretty good. That's fine. Person B starts at 5%, but increases by 1% every year until they hit 15%. Then they stop increasing it. They end up with almost $1.4 million. Do you see that for logging in like 15 times to your Google Calendar, you made $845,000 more dollars? Again, this is how wealthy people think. And if you want to put this system on autopilot, this next video shows you the only 4 numbers you need to track to build real wealth, and it takes less than an hour a month. Watch it now.